A lot of people will be mad at me for saying this, but I think it's crucial for us as a maladaptive daydreaming community to understand the difference between maladaptive daydreaming and immersive daydreaming to get this condition out into the medical and mental health worlds. Hey everyone, my name is Levi. I am a maladaptive daydreamer, and today I want to talk about the difference between immersive daydreaming, fantasy-prone personality, and maladaptive daydreaming. There seems to be a lot of misinformation online, which unfortunately causes more confusion on the differences between these three conditions. Well, not all three of them are conditions, but let's just say these three things for now. And unfortunately, it does more harm than it does good. Not only that, but it also sometimes causes a lot of unnecessary controversy. So I wanted to make this video and try to clear up the differences between these three, because I've made videos previously, but I feel like I've focused way too much on the entertainment aspect of it instead of the informational aspect of it. So hopefully this video will be a lot better for people to understand. So firstly, let's look at the diagnostic criteria for maladaptive daydreaming. The proposed diagnostic criteria for maladaptive daydreaming consists out of three sections, A, B, and C. But I'm not going to go through everything in detail. If you want to see more about the proposed diagnostic criteria, please check out this video where I go through everything in depth. The most important out of all three of these sections, in my opinion, is section B, which states the following. The disturbance causes clinically significant distress or impairment in social, occupational, or other important areas of functioning. Maladaptive daydreaming interferes with at least one aspect in a person's life, whether it be social situations, relationships, work, school, chores, needing to focus, study, you name it, it has to at least interfere with one daily activity, I can almost call it. However, if you scroll down in the diagnostic criteria, you will see the severity ratings for mild, moderate, and severe. Now, if we look at mild, it says experiences mainly distress with no obvious functional impairment. So basically, the most important thing about maladaptive daydreaming is that it causes distress. The dictionary definition of maladaptive is as follows: of, relating to, or characterized by maladaptation or incomplete, inadequate, or faulty adaptation. Maladaptive daydreaming is problematic because it is a behavioral addiction or psychological condition which interferes with everyday functioning, daily tasks, and as a result, a person's maladaptive daydreaming habits cause distress. This is everything that makes the condition problematic in the first place. So let's look at immersive daydreaming next. Immersive daydreaming doesn't have a diagnostic criteria because immersive daydreaming isn't problematic as a condition, or it isn't even seen as a condition in the same way that maladaptive daydreaming is. The dictionary definition of immersive is the following: characterized by or relating to dipping, absorption, or immersion. Maladaptive daydreaming and immersive daydreaming are both very similar. However, immersive daydreaming does not interfere with daily tasks or daily functions, and it does not cause distress. That is the most important differentiating factor between maladaptive daydreaming and immersive daydreaming. It does not cause distress to have immersive daydreaming, but it does cause distress to have maladaptive daydreaming. People also seem to be confusing maladaptive daydreaming or immersive daydreaming with fantasy-prone personality, so I'll go over the differences between those two versus fantasy-prone personality here as well. Fantasy-prone personality's Wikipedia definition is as follows: an individual with this trait, termed a fantasizer, may have difficulty differentiating between fantasy and reality and may experience hallucinations as well as self-suggested psychosomatic symptoms. People with maladaptive daydreaming or people with immersive daydreaming do not experience psychosis. In other words, they know the difference between the real world and the fantasy world, and they do not mix reality with fiction. Maladaptive daydreamers and immersive daydreamers also do not experience hallucinations. People with fantasy-prone personality, on the other hand, do experience hallucinations, and they do experience psychosis, where they often mix their real memories with their fantasy memories, and they also generally cannot tell the difference between reality and fiction, or the real world versus the fantasy world. It's extremely important to understand that experiencing daydreams as intense or vivid or emotional is not the same as psychosis. At the end of the day, the best way to differentiate between maladaptive daydreaming and immersive daydreaming is to ask yourself whether your daydream habits cause you any form of distress. If your answer is yes or sometimes, then you may have maladaptive daydreaming. If your answer is no, then you may not have maladaptive daydreaming, but rather immersive daydreaming. I think it's very important not to create a problem where there wasn't a problem beforehand. If you didn't experience the stress with your daydreaming habits before, and you suddenly found out about maladaptive daydreaming and said something along the lines of, "Oh, I never knew I had a problem," or "Maladaptive daydreaming doesn't affect my life whatsoever, in fact I absolutely love everything about it," then you most probably do not have maladaptive daydreaming. A lot of people will be mad at me for saying this, but I think it's crucial for us as a maladaptive daydreaming community to understand the difference between maladaptive daydreaming and immersive daydreaming to get this condition out into the medical and mental health worlds. It's not as easy as just presenting people with research and saying, "Please accept us." We need to know those differences. I also think it's important to understand the difference between maladaptive and immersive daydreaming and to be strict about the differences, because you can get immersive daydreamers who have never had a single problem with their daydreaming ever in their lives. They stumble upon this thing called maladaptive daydreaming and suddenly they create a problem when they didn't have one beforehand. Suddenly they believe they have maladaptive daydreaming where they don't. So it's important to understand the differences. Secondly, it's also important because we want to get this condition out into the medical and mental health world. We want medical professionals and mental health professionals such as therapists or psychologists to take this condition seriously and to see it for what it is, a problematic behavioral addiction, which is a psychological condition. But anyway, that's it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thanks for all the support. I received really good feedback on my previous videos, my previous 2 videos. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. As always, I appreciate the likes, the shares, the watches, the comments, the subscribers. Thank you so much. As always, take care of yourselves, make good choices. Love you guys.